I think this is going to be very interesting because, sincerely, when I watch what happened on the other side, I think you guys have no argument. Even
in this one, we're going to have a look at a heated debate between Patrick Bet-David as he runs over Ro Khanna over Democratic policies and how much they suck. He goes on and brings facts and stats, while Ro Khanna is pretty much left saying that the Democrats need to do a better job with their messaging. So at least he's able to admit that. But this one was a good one. I really had a good time watching this and making this video. So let's get right to it. This is Patrick Bet-David debating Ro Khanna.
I don't think the Democratic Party should be afraid to say, we want to be the party of reform. We want to be the party of building America. We're the party of innovators. And you know what the great news is? There's no Donald Trump in 2028. I mean, Donald Trump is a unique, phenomenal candidate. And on my side, people who think that he is easily beatable are delusional. He is a very charismatic candidate. And so what we should do is see, well, what about the American people? Why did they respond to him? Okay, they responded to him because of reform. They responded because they like his aspirational vision. We're going to fill in the details in a better way, and we're going to take that to be the party in 26 and 28.
Can I be direct with you?
Yes.
Okay. I don't think you sold it because I don't think you can. Because I think what you just said works against other Democratic opponents that you have. I think you beat other Democratic opponents. I don't know what your aspirations are long term, but that message will resonate with the new Democratic youth and the party. And you'll win and you'll beat them. Like it's kind of being Eastern Conference, Western Conference. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
like NFC,
100%.
AFC. And it's great. You may come up and be, hey, we're such and such team. We're coming out of the Western Conference. I don't care if you're Seattle Supersonics. I don't care if you're the Phoenix Suns. I don't care if you're the Houston Rockets. You're not getting past Michael, okay? You're just not. That's just kind of how it works right now. I don't care who you are. You're not getting past Mahomes.
Tell me why.
And because your argument sucked the last 4 years. And you had a chance. And you royally screwed up. The Democratic Party royally screwed up. And remember, when I say Democratic Party, and
where do you see our biggest mess up in the last 4 years? I'm not disagreeing with you.
Do you have kids?
We made mistakes. I do have kids.
You have two kids. I think you have how many kids? You have two kids. Two kids. Okay. So I look up to see your story, your family, what you do. Okay. You mean to tell me you agreed with all the stuff that they wanted to teach schools in California? I went to Glendale High School. Do you know what things they were teaching in Glendale with books and stuff to kids? Like, what are you doing? You think that's common sense? It's not. So maybe in the beginning, everybody's like, oh, just don't say anything. Just don't say anything. Just don't be tolerant. Just don't say anything. Hell no. My son came today and said something weird. I'm done. I'm going to the school. And I'm speaking up. Video goes viral, 50 million views, 20 million views, 8 million views. I feel the same way. Okay, that policy was a shit show. You know what? The illegal immigrants, America was built on immigrants. We should let immigrants come here. What's wrong with that? Who's going to do these works? Like, who said that? On The View, the lady said it. And now there's an article right now that came out. I guess what it says. It says, now that these immigrants are going to be going, who's going to do a lot of these jobs? They're no longer even embarrassed to say that, Rob. I don't know what
who's going to pick our crops and pick our nuts.
By the way,
all that
they're
stuff.
saying exactly what that lady said on The View, who got criticized. Now they're openly, and can America's economy cope with the mass deportation? You read the story, it's about who's going to do these jobs that everybody else doesn't want to do. Okay, so that policy's gone because the borders, and we saw what happened with Lake and Riley, terrible situation. Stories, rapist comes back, sanctuary cities completely got exposed, and people who voted for the left don't want sanctuary cities with these great, okay, so that got exposed. Number 3, economy. Hey, Biden and Democrats are for, the low and middle income families. Really, go look up the gas prices, Rob, under each presidential administration. When you look up gas prices under each president, whether you go, that one right there. Look at this. So the red one is Bush, goes up to 330, started at 146, 139. Obama goes up 368. Look at Trump, stays down. Look at Biden, goes up to 406. Did you get my gas prices to go any lower? No. Okay, so you definitely made oil companies a lot of money. The profits under Biden for oil companies was a lot higher than the profits under Trump for oil companies. All right. So then Obama does a clip of March 18th, I don't know what the clip is, when he's talking about the hey, you want to come here, immigration? You know which clip I'm talking about, and you got to come do it this way. And guess what? You got to get back in the line because the people that are in Mexico who did it the right way, they got to get ahead of you. It's not fair for those guys that waited all these years.
No, I shared that clip.
I saw you share that a few days ago. That's common sense, right? But the Democratic Party today is no longer, or in my opinion, I can't see any arguments that's common sense. John F. Kennedy, what he was talking about back then, hey, we're going to lower taxes so your family can make some money and some of the money goes to you. Oh, what a nice guy. That's what lowering taxes is. Hey, we're going to go out there and, get rid of some of these things that we're doing because we want it to be good for you. Hey, we don't want any war. Oh, Democratic Party's against no war. Last 4 years, Hamas, Israel, Ukraine, Russia, and I thought it was the other way around. So this isn't the old Republican war. This is, hey, man, we're going to go this way. It's going to be America first. And unfortunately, the Democratic Party has lost. And by the way, the amount of people you guys, even the Democrats, lost with TikTok, you had TikTok. So if we look at right now what the Democratic Party still owns, think about it, that you have majority control of. Military is getting rid of DEI. Pete Heck said you're seeing him going around doing all the stuff that he's doing. Okay. You guys used to have TikTok because China was using it, the left, brainwash, all that stuff, and then flipped. Charlie Kirk, 5 million followers, 40 million views, 36 million views, 28 million views, 32 million views. Why is that resonating? Because the youth is saying, listen, this makes sense. Okay. Your biggest edge that you still have, that you have a monopoly on, and it's not even close. And it's going to be a problem for 80 years, unless if this gets addressed today. You know what it is?
What?
98% of English teachers in public schools, they track their money. 98% of English teachers gave their money to Democratic Party. 97% was of health and guidance and science. 87% of math gave to Democratic Party. Only 13% gave to Republican Party. So the average person sends their kids to public schools for 12 years. They're going to be persuaded, manipulated, brainwashed by the Democratic Party. You have that control. And it's so powerful that you have that. Because parents that can't afford to send their kids to private school and can't afford to do homeschooling because they both got a job, they don't know how to do that. It's tough on them. They have to send them to public school. So you have possibly the most powerful monopoly in America. Possibly the most powerful monopoly in America. And that you have long term. But even that, kids are now having access to social media, to TikTok, to Instagram. They're like, I don't know if I agree with you, teacher. I don't know if I agree with you, teacher. And now people are watching Charlie Kirks. How many other small Charlie Kirks are going to be out there going on campuses? 1, 2, or hundreds, thousands? Who right now watches that business model saying that's exactly what I want to do? Debate me, debate me, debate me. I think this is going to be very interesting because sincerely, when I watch what happened on the other side, I think you guys have no argument, even minimum wage. Make the argument for minimum wage. Okay? We got to raise the minimum wage. All right. Trump's probably going to sit there and say, yeah, I partially agree. We should do it on the federal level. Now, what he's done, that's what I'm trying to find out. Truly, what is the one thing that the Democratic Party has an edge today where the average person could say, I relate to you guys?
Well, that's a lot. Let me first say this, that I'm not going to say the Democratic Party is perfect. I'm part of the people calling for reform of the party. Let's start with the cultural issues. I think we have to assure families that they're going to have a say in their kids' education, that it's going to be common sense. And even where I take positions where I may disagree with people. Look, we may have a different view on transgender rights, LGBTQ rights. I don't know your positions. We've got to stop coming off like we're better than people or condescending, or that we can't have a disagreement with people on social and cultural issues and respect that. And that is something that the Democratic Party needs to change. We've got to become a bigger tent party. And I think there's going to be a new generation that does that. On the economy, look, I will defend 2 points of what Biden achieved. He got insulin to $35, and that was a huge win with the drug companies. And that was a huge win with the drug companies.
And that's why the Democratic Party will never see the full picture. He wants to give Biden credit for dropping insulin and bringing manufacturing or whatever he just said. Look, bro, Biden is the worst president in history, and you can't admit that. And, you know, I'm fine with it because the more you guys dig your heels in and act like anything the Democratic Party has done over the last 16 years is worthwhile, the better off the Republican Party is going to do and the better they're going to perform in future elections. How about those insane statistics that Patrick Bet-David brought up there with all of the teachers, the majority, like heavy majority, high percentage of all these teachers are donating to the Democratic Party. Now, that's not a surprise. I mean, the teachers union is in the bag for the Democratic Party and has been for years. The universities, every single professor out there seems like they're pushing Democratic ideology, virtue signaling, and embracing this whole DEI culture, even at the highest levels like Harvard and stuff like that. But thankfully, like Patrick Bet-David mentioned there, is that we all have the ability to do research on our own. There's social media, and we realize that a lot of the stuff that these teachers, that these people are pushing on us is just nonsense. It's catering to the fringe. It's dirty. It's nasty. It's anti-Christian. I mean, these people want to encourage calling a kid their pronouns, their preferred pronouns behind their parents' backs, and even go so far as to help them get abortions behind their parents' backs, to, you know, contribute to changing their gender behind their parents' backs. Like, the teachers really don't have the best interest for the future of individuals in mind. They just serve the party. And it's just so weird. It's so far fringe that Donald Trump crushed this last election because people, the everyday average American that's not deeply entrenched in politics and this whole cultural shift, are just like, I can't go the way the Democrats are leading me. How could I do that? How can I protect my children and follow what the Democrats are doing? Not only is Joe Biden and everybody in Democratic leadership making America look weak on the world stage once again, just like Obama did, and at the same time encouraging open borders, spending my tax dollars on free debit cards for illegal immigrants. Everything that's been going on from the Democrat side is just corrosive to the American culture, right? And thankfully, what we've seen in the last couple weeks with Donald Trump, and forgive me if you heard me say this in the other video, it's becoming a little bit repetitive maybe, but Donald Trump mentioned that we're going to get tired of winning, and I just don't think that's possible. I've enjoyed every single last little bit of it. Every day when I log on to X and I scroll and I see Pam Bondi shutting down funding to sanctuary cities, federal funding on day one, it's just like, man, Trump and his cabinet are getting it done. He's delivering on campaign promises like no other president has in history. He's restoring people's faith in America. Him and Pete Hegseth are building the military back up in a manner that our enemies will respect us. And it's just so satisfying finally seeing the Republicans take back some ground that we've lost over these last 16 years, 12 of which were under Democratic leadership. Anyways, I thought this was a good conversation. I haven't seen much hope for the left from anybody that speaks for the left in the last couple of weeks, where they're acting like they're going to change and learn. It's always Orange Man bad, and now it's even graduated to Elon man bad. I mean, it's like a whole new derangement syndrome. There's TDS and EDS. And, you know, it's just so funny watching all of these leaders out there protesting to stop USAID from being shut down. And it's like, okay, thanks for exposing yourself. You want to support USAID, who is basically squandering our money when we don't even have any? You're out. You lose. Thank you for showing the American people who you truly are, who you really support, and we all learn in the process that it's not us. The American people that elect you are not the priority of the Democratic Party and the leadership in the Democratic Party at all. We see it time after time after time, and even the person that's not paying attention to politics is becoming to recognize it. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, share this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.